Viewer discretion is advised. This movie makes fun of dark subjects such as suicide, pedophilia, racism, and physical abuse.
If you could make the ultimate sandwich with whatever you wanted on it, what would you have on it?
If I were not a picky eater and I would eat anything that comes on a sandwich, it would be, my bread would start off with Italian bread. I would then put a layer of mayonnaise, and then followed by turkey meat and is it chicken meat?
Well, it's your sandwich. I can't tell you.
Followed by lettuce, some spinach, add some bacon, and then add some tomato, add some vinaigrette on it, and then after that, on the top one, I would add a layer of honey mustard, and then a little bit of more mayo. But I, wouldn't eat it because I don't like half that stuff on there.
Well, it didn't say ultimate sandwich for you. It just said ultimate sandwich, so you can give your sandwich to somebody else. For me, one of my favorite sandwiches is a club sandwich. But I'd probably have I like 5 cheese bread. So it'll be toasted 5 cheese bread.
I didn't even think about that.
And then you get, hey man, it's ultimate sandwich.
I cheese on it.
Then I'll have ham and turkey and bacon with smoked Gouda, chipotle cheddar, and then light mayonnaise and barbecue on the top and bottom of the sandwich, so it doesn't overpower any of the taste. But then spinach and tomato on it, because if I just have cheese bread with cheese and meat, that sounds terrible.
Is Gouda smelly?
Inherently, most cheese is to me, but yes.
Is it good? I don't think I've ever had Gouda.
I like Gouda.
Is it an acquired taste like blue cheese?
I don't know. I don't believe so. I don't have, if I go to a store, I don't ever choose Gouda cheese, because Gouda, it is a very sharp taste. And it is quite strong cheese. But no, I don't think it's an acquired taste, if I'm being honest. Hello, and welcome to Missing the Wagon, a pop culture review podcast. My name is Samuel, and with me today is my co-host, Miri.
Hi, guys.
How are you doing today, Miri?
I'm doing fine.
Before we get into anything else, without any spoilers or anything, tell me what you knew about Airplane, or what your thoughts were before you watched the movie.
So, I had exactly no context when you told me about the movie. I originally thought it was gonna be something similar to Snakes on a Plane. Because every time I see an airplane,
that laugh was really hard. It's not that funny.
I
love the idea that you saw Airplane and you thought, oh, so Snakes on a Plane must be a riff on this.
Yeah, or I thought, because a lot of, I haven't watched many airplane movies, but a lot of airplane trailers I've seen is something bad's gonna happen, and it's very over the top dramatic. So I thought it was something similar to that. When I watched the trailer, I was like, oh, this is a parody of movies, and it kind of reminded me of the scary movies that they do parodies off scary movies. So it reminded me of that.
Also, I do also love the idea, because you're not wrong. Have you seen Con Air with Nicolas Cage?
No.
It's a plane movie where things go wrong.
Is Nicolas Cage the treasure guy?
He is the man from National Treasure, yes.
Oh, okay, National.
Also, I think, is it John Voight? Is that his dad? I forget now.
Don't know any of these people.
But also, there's a movie with Mike Coulter and Gerard Butler, and the name is called Plane.
Is that really?
Yeah. I think it came out 3 or 4 years ago now, where a pilot is transporting some stuff, and the government's like, we gotta move this criminal last minute, and they don't tell the pilot beforehand, but the plane crashes.
My goodness.
And the plane crashes.
Over the top.
And then the Gerard Butler, the pilot, and Mike Coulter, the criminal they're transporting, have to work together to survive the plane crash on this place. And it's called Plane. And I'm like,
bet those intrusive thoughts were hard for that guy.
Once again, he could have been a criminal that was falsely accused. I've never watched Plane.
That's true.
Plane does not sound appealing to me. I'm like, this sounds like an old action movie that you guys just made a script for now.
I wasn't really expecting much out of it, but I definitely did not expect what we watched. That was very. I think I wasn't expecting to be flabbergasted.
Well, yeah, because I knew Airplane because of cinema studies in school when we did things about comedy and whatnot, and we talked about other stuff, and I had never watched it at the time.
Why did you guys have to watch this movie?
No, we didn't watch Airplane. We talked about Airplane.
Why?
Because comedies and parodies got popularized by, what are the name of the men that wrote and directed this movie? Like Zucker Brothers or something, and then Abrams. Because Abrams and Zucker and I think and one more guy. Because I think it's two Zucker Brothers and Abrams. They made The Naked Gun together, so they made all three. They made movies separately, like the one with Leslie Nielsen where he's Dracula. One where he's like a man on the run. But they did lots of comedies together, and they did them separately and stuff.
I don't know any of these movies, so this information means nothing to me.
Well, on that note, we're going to talk about some of the goings on at the time of the movie. Thank you to onthisday.com for all this information. We'll be doing January 1980. On the first of this year, it was International Drinking Water Supply and Sanitation Decade that began.
Normally, what I've been trying to do is look up information on the things, so I have like, oh, this is why. There was no reason. It didn't explain why they did that. It just said it started.
No, okay.
So unless I didn't look hard enough.
I'll say it's because it's dirty water. Because that's what I love. In the 80s, they were like, it's International Drinking Water Supply and Sanitation Decade.
But give facts to like what caused it. Were there deaths?
Yes.
How many
if
people?
the water is bad and sanitation is bad,
Make documentation. Just documentation, man. I would love to know more information.
Document the deaths.
Yeah, like
document the problems.
They gave an estimate when the Black Plague was a thing.
No, I'm fine with that. Same
thing when COVID was a thing. They kept updating how many people were dying a day.
Hey, for me the problem is this started in 1776. In 1980, they were like, time, let's make this stuff good for people.
All right, a tree hugger was like, yes, make a difference.
A tree hugger in government?
Hey, there's nothing wrong with tree huggers. I mean, if I could go ahead and tie myself to a tree to prevent from them being tore down, I would.
Cut down?
Cut down.
Yeah, you tear down buildings, you cut down trees.
Deforestation. The act of destroying trees. When trees become scarce. Whatever you want to call it. We need oxygen.
On January 3rd of that year, the price of gold hit $634 an ounce. Which I'm like, oh.
That to me, I put that on Google on this day, and I put that fact. And it just brought the information. It disregarded that fact that he just said. And it just said, oh, today's current gold is this. And I'm like, okay, well, there we go. So I was like, this is nice.
Yeah, you said it was real vague for all this stuff, which is kind of wild to me. Indira Gandhi's Congress Party wins elections in India. And I remember the last thing we talked about with Indira Gandhi, wasn't she banned from Parliament?
She was.
But she made a party and they got elected, and like, okay.
To be fair, we're just going to repeat the same information on this lady.
Not the same information.
Similar information.
Yeah, similar, yeah.
So, I mean, kudos. Still, kudos.
Sorry. Miri seems so like, bro, there was nothing. Every time I clicked on something, it said nothing.
It just like, because when I pulled her up again, it gave me the same information. It didn't even give more specifics to that.
Nope.
And I'm just like, I want to know more.
No, too bad. Too bad, said the internet.
I think if anything in the world that bothers me is when I want to find information and it doesn't give me the information. It's like, I need an answer. Oh, answer? Yeah. And then it just says a little answer.
Yeah, man.
And I'm like, what's the point of having all this access to information if you're not going to give me the information I want to properly know? Sorry, guys.
On January 13th, a head of narcotic brigade was arrested for drug smuggling in Belgium. As Miri said, there is no information on this except, hey...
All I know is that because of that, there's still a lot of drug smuggling, and it just said the date when this guy was caught. That's it. And all it said was, oh, and to current day from that, date, there's still a lot of, drug smuggling, and these are the people who might be connected to it, but police is still investigating.
Now, in the 80s, they caught this one guy, and there's no more drug smuggling.
That's it. Don't get me wrong. Well, I guess this one actually makes sense, because if the police is investigating, you don't want to put that information. So that one actually kind of makes sense.
Yeah, it's like that one thing. I forget what it is. I think it's FBI. They were, looking up some fraud or something.
Oh, man, this reminded me of something, actually, but it's about the movie, so I'll bring that up.
Okay, it was fraud or something, and they put a man over as a task force to find the fraud, but then they found out that he was the one doing it, and I'm like, yeah, that's how it goes.
Actually, it's something similar to Netflix. I think it's called Trigger, which I thought was a BL.
You mean the cop that gives people guns to be like, this person hurt you, you can go hurt him?
Yeah, it's one of those that justice wasn't brought to them when they needed justice, so they're putting justice into their own hands.
No, it's called Revenge Them.
I don't know. Some of these people were kind of, whatever. It's kind of that gray line. All right. Let's go.
It's like the show was made like that. On January 16th, Paul McCartney is arrested at Tokyo International Airport for possession of marijuana. He is sent to jail for 9 days before being deported.
So, for this one...
Just laughing at my man.
I thought he got deported from here. Until I read, I'm like, because I saw it, and I'm like, why did he get deported? He's in America.
Because he broke international law.
But then he told me it was in Japan. I was like, oh, that's why he got deported.
No, and this is not funny. Tokyo International Airport. And no, yeah.
I think my brain skipped that.
What state would it be in? You think it'll be on the East Coast or West Coast?
I don't know.
On January 18th, the price of gold reached $850 an ounce.
Money. Here, let me put more air in you and just deflate it.
On the 21st, the price of gold peaked at $870, but went back down to $850. And on the 25th, Paul McCartney is released after his detention for pot possession in Tokyo and deported from Japan. And then on the 26th of the year, Israel and Egypt established diplomatic relations. So I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And on the 27th of that year, Robert Mugabe returns to Rhodesia after 5 years in exile. He becomes the president of Zimbabwe because Rhodesia becomes Zimbabwe after I think a year or two after he returns. And that's the news of January 1980. Now on to our synopsis. For everyone watching along, we watched Airplane of 1980, and we watched it on Prime Video, which, like an old man, I will say, it frustrates me, greatly so, that I have to pay a subscription service to watch Amazon Prime Video, and then I have to pay to then watch a movie on it, and it makes it useless, because why am I paying for a subscription service to then pay for a movie? Because on YouTube, Airplane is free. It's just free, so if I wanted to, I could maybe pay to own it, but I could watch it for free with ads if I'm not paying for YouTube Premium or whatever.
Yeah, I was kind of hesitant to rent it on YouTube, only because when I was trying to watch the free with ads, the audio sucked. I couldn't really hear it, And so I was just like, okay, if I rent it, I don't want to be trying to figure out what they're saying. And then the subtitles were not subtitling, you know?
Oh, yeah, for some reason, I don't know why YouTube does this thing at points to where when you watch a movie, the subtitles will either be maybe like a second or two behind or a second or two in front. And if that happens, I'm like, well, I already know what they said. But then if it's a second two in front, you just know, like, if they're like this movie, you know the jokes that are coming. And it's like, well, that's not satisfying at all.
Ex-fighter pilot and taxi driver Ted Stryker, who is Robert Hayes, became traumatized during an unnamed war, leading to his fear of flying. As a result, he can't hold a responsible job, and his wartime girlfriend Elaine Dickinson, who is Julie Haggerty, now a stewardess, leaves him. To win her back, Stryker overcomes his fear and boards a flight from Los Angeles to Chicago that she is serving on, and leaving the taxi he is driving behind with a man inside.
Which is not mentioned in this synopsis.
But during the flight, Elaine rebuffs his attempts.
Yeah, but yeah, this movie starts off, as I whenever I watch it, beautiful models. Like the model airport and the cars, phenomenal. And then you have a joke with the PA people fighting about what's the white zone and the red zone. And then you have Ted drive into a known parking space with a taxi.
I didn't understand those jokes, by the way. I just, like, I knew they were arguing, which I was like, okay, they're arguing. Like, something is clearly, they're beefing, but I didn't understand the jokes. Which made me feel like, oh, I'm missing something.
No, the only joke was they couldn't agree what the zones were.
All I know is the girl was like, the female announcer was like, don't tell me where the white zone is or the red zone is or something like that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, fun fact, those guys are married.
Oh.
And they actually work at the LAX airport announcing at the time.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, so voices are familiar.
That's cute.
Mm-hmm. But then, so Ted drives up in a taxi. We see a few people get off the plane. There are a lot of people for religious consciousness in the airport, and I don't know if that was a thing in the 80s.
So I also want to add that as the movie starting, the people that are getting off, the cars and stuff, those are the people that you're going to be seeing throughout the movie.
Oh yeah, the people going to the airport will be passengers on the plane. It's wild.
Yeah, the whole religious thing, I didn't understand that either.
Well, once again, it's a thing that used to happen a lot, because once again, we didn't get to experience that. If someone wanted to do that right now, they would have to go through so much nonsense and rigmarole at the airport to get in there to give people Bibles and flowers and stuff. But in the 80s, that didn't happen. You could just walk through an airport like it was cool and chill.
The thing is, though, that particular scene I was referring to the religious thing, they were called people of the religious consciousness.
Yes.
Why a consciousness?
For religion.
Okay.
It's not supposed to make sense. It's supposed to be a fun joke, because throughout the movie, all that happens to people is that they get punched. They get punched, and that's all. They get punched and ignored.
They lost consciousness.
Yeah, it's like how the synopsis skipped over Ted coming in, seeing all the people, the PA jokes. We see Captain Over come to the airport to get on to pilot the plane, and legit, this man's only reason to his name for Captain Over is for them to do a Captain Over, so it's like over, and it's the only reason. His name is that for a joke.
And he didn't even. Everybody kept saying over, and he's like, what?
Yeah.
Huh? And I'm just like.
But that's why his name was that.
So there's also another part here. When he gets up. By the way, when he pulls up the taxi car, he kind of jumps on the curb, or the car kind of goes on the curb, and as soon as he's getting out, this guy comes in, and gets in the car, and then he tells him, he's like, oh, I'll be right back, but he turns on the little meter, right? He turned it on, and so it's literally cashing or judging.
It's the toll was going up for the taxi. But no, I thought taxis. I didn't think it was time based. I thought it was distance based.
I don't know. It was ticking.
Yeah. Oh, if it was ticking, yeah, it's time-based, which is wild. But yeah, so, like, the synopsis misses the joke of the man at the metal detector taking off his fake arm and leg because they said no metal parts going through the metal detector. They miss, because it's 3 church jokes. Ted, in the first one, like, the guy tries to stop him, and he, like, takes his jacket off to run by. And I looked at it, and I was like, man, before 2000s, you could just run through the airport, and no one tries to tackle you or say something about it. That's wild. And then you have Ted punch a guy after Elaine, like, Elaine and he talk. Because in the synopsis, it says she rebuffs him on the plane. She rebuffs him in the airport.
That is another thing that, like, I know this is supposed to be comedy, but I just didn't like the fact how, like, she was like, no, leave me alone. And Ted was like, oh, okay, no. And followed her.
What he did was, she said, leave me alone the first time. He turned to camera and said, what a pisser. Then he went after her. He found out what because she's like, oh, I'm going to Chicago. Then this man walked up to a counter and somehow got a ticket. Exactly, because he goes up to a lady and says, hey, this lady, where is she going? And this person just tells him, and I'm like,
tells
bro, that's
her
not
the
safe.
Name, tells her the plane.
Yeah, but that's not safe.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that during this scene too, it does a scene to where, what are they called? The little airplane people?
Like air traffic guys.
Yeah, and he's like guiding a plane, doing the little things, and a guy comes up. He's like, "Hey, where is this?" And so instead of doing the same motions he was doing, he changes positions of the thing, causing the airplane that was like driving into the lane to crash into the airport.
Oh yeah, to crash into the green screen that is the airport.
Yeah, and the one thing I have to say that I wasn't expecting was obviously the plane crashed into it. People were like, ah! And there was this one character who had a baby. They threw the baby up in the air and ran away. Because
I have a note here, and it says, there's a baby, because that's that was a quote from you saying that when you saw the baby being thrown. Also, I have it in my notes as air traffic stick man, because air traffic control is in the tower. So I was like, air traffic stick man, because he has the glow sticks. And I'm like, that's not the name of that job. It's not the name of that. But yeah, because another thing in the synopsis they don't bring up is you have Captain Over, you have co-pilot Roger, and then you have like Navigator Victor. And literally the reason they have those names is Captain Over, so whenever someone says over, that he can turn around and be like, oh, over. And then you have Roger, so when someone says Roger over the radio, they can be like, what? And then when they're doing stuff checking for distance and vectors, he says that, and Victor thinks it's his name. And legit, it's the only reason these guys have the names. It's for 1 to 2 jokes. Because for Over, all those jokes happened at the airport, and then the one joke I said was like Over, Roger, and Victor. Once. Joke happened once, so they sat down and wrote the script for jokes that happened one time.
When he finds out, what plane she's on and everything,
because this person's like, hey, I don't know you, but I'm gonna let you know this information about this person.
Yeah, great job, girl. So he tells her like, oh, I'll give me a ticket on that plane, one way, and she asks him, okay. Well, she says, okay, is that smoking or non-smoking? And he says, smoking. And you later see him walking towards the plane, and his ticket's actually smoking.
Yeah, it's a smoking ticket. He asked for it. That's what he asked for.
I'm like, yo.
Also,
literal.
If you have not watched this movie, Roger is...
These jokes here kind of gave me Amelia Bedelia vibes.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. Very, very literal. I made a joke to somebody. I'm like, I've never watched these movies, but man, my sense of humor is quite literal, and I feel like these type of movies really influenced my comedy as a kid, especially. But yeah, Roger, the co-pilot, is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and one of my favorite jokes of this movie is when Kareem comes in and a kid... Because, like, I found this out maybe a year or two ago. Cockpits didn't used to be locked. People could just walk in and out the cockpit, which boggled my mind when I found that out. So a kid was sitting down, and he was like, oh, Mom and Dad, I want to talk to the pilot. And then the stewardess is like, oh, we'll go see if the pilot will talk to you. Kid comes in, sees Roger, because Roger is played by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And he's like, oh, hey, you're Kareem. And Kareem is like, hey, I'm Roger. Look at the name tag. I'm Roger Murdoch, huh? So then the kid's like, oh, yeah, you're Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I think you're great, but my dad thinks you suck and you only play defense during the finals, blah, blah, blah.
Which he speaks a very, like, he spoke facts. He's like, tell your old man that he can run a whole, like, a full...
Yeah, and he can run up and down the court without carrying Lambert and somebody else. Then see how much defense he plays.
Yeah. So
I love that bit. So
that
was like,
was facts, man.
Because once again, there are lots of movies like this. Not just parodies, but lots of movies that are big have people who are like famous in them, and then like they play like a normal person. Like I think the perfect example is Fast and Furious, because Fast and Furious usually does a thing if they build a team for something. There are people who are famous all around the world on the team. So then it's like, oh, I'm just a normal person. I'm like, you don't look like a normal guy.
The scene too was there was a particular scene too where like I don't know why this was added into the script, but the stewardess, like, what's her name, Elaine was the one.
The name Ted?
Yeah.
Yes, it was Elaine.
Yeah, Elaine comes in, brings the kid in there, and he like just the whole script was just so weird because like Over.
Yeah,
Captain Over was like, what was the kid's name? Tommy? Billy?
It might have been something like Billy, something really, really, really plain.
Yeah, I was like, have you ever been in a cockpit? And he's like, I've never been in a cockpit, sir. And by the way, he gives him like an airplane, so he's like an airplane just flying. And then they're talking, and then Elaine is saying something, and then he goes, Billy/Tommy, have you ever seen a grown man naked? Bruh. And then the kid doesn't even answer, and then you see Elaine kind of be like, oh, I'll take him back. He's like, no, he can stay. And I'm just like, okay.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, the man who played Captain Over didn't like that joke. He read the script, and he was like, I don't like these things. This is not funny.
And also, like, the way how he was grabbing him, too, yeah. I was like, oof.
But yeah, the guy who played Captain Over did drama roles, so he didn't think it was funny or whatever, and his family had to convince him, like, no, it's just a joke. Like, this fun.
That's a rough joke, man.
It is a rough joke.
That is rough. Yikes.
But yes, many things were skipped in the synopsis, because, yeah, you have...
There's... Again, as the trigger warning advised, like the movie kind of makes fun of a lot of like dark subjects.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like the sick girl that's not mentioned in this that has to go for a heart transplant, Captain Over has to call the Mayo Clinic, and it's an actual
Mayo Clinic, and then and then there's a heart, just the heart that's supposed to go to the child.
Yeah, just
jumping around his desk. Or, like, they also skipped this here in the synopsis, was when he got in there, like, when he got on the plane, they were, like, boarding and stuff, and, like, they were getting, like, they were trying to serve, they were asking, they were asking, like, the customers, the passengers, like, hey, like, do you want to read? Do you want, like, coffee? Things like that, right? Mm-hmm. And there's one point, Elaine is passing out, like, books, and she comes by this little old lady, which then Ted is next. Like, Ted is, like, trying to, like, talk to her. And he's like, Elaine, we can make it work. And she's like...
Well, I did stalk you from L.A. to Chicago on this plane that you can't escape.
And so then, like, before, like, a little bit after that, before that, Elaine is talking to this little old lady. And the little old lady is like, young lady, do you have something simple I can read? And so then she gives her literally one single paper of what looked like some type of brochure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And, she gave it to her. Ted comes up and like, Elaine, we can make it work. I'll change. And she's like, no, I got a job to do. Which is facts.
No, I stalked you onto this flying tube that must fight nature and God to fly, so you must listen.
And this is, again, the little old lady describes how, oh my gosh, she is such a beautiful woman. No wonder you're so smitten. And starts to describe Elaine's body as plump, nice legs, nice figure, and just everything about her is nice. And this is just me, like, PGing it.
Well, she calls her supple, but too, I was reading my notes, and I don't know why I put this down, but I put Ted is wearing corduroy pants, and I love how that is one of the notes I took. Because have you ever worn corduroy pants?
I don't know what those are.
It is a very warm material that, one, feels uncomfortable to wear on your body, and two, makes a swish. Swish isn't like a tracksuit, but it makes a sound when you when it rubs together and walks. And it's, as a kid, I remember wearing them in kindergarten. Corduroys, where I'm like, these pants suck. Like, they're very warm, but you can hear me walking down the hallway. Then another note I have. Lady going on about how beautiful Elaine is lets me know this was written by a man. I'm like, that's the joke they would make.
The thing is too that so then he finds that as an opening of like, oh, she wants to hear about how I met Elaine.
Well, she did ask, but then she asked a question that was very short, like, oh, how do you know each other? And that answer is like, oh, we met here.
That's it.
And then because she picked up her brochure to read it, and he just kept talking.
Yeah.
And we had a flashback.
And she looked very disgruntled. So he starts explaining how they met, which this whole memory pissed me off.
Why? For me, it made me be like, why are Girl Scouts in a war zone? But two, there's some good jokes in this scene. The joke of him throwing clothes and it always comes back and he never notices until it hits him on the dance floor. The Saturday Night Fever bit, because Saturday Night Fever came out in 78?
Not that part. I guess it's more towards the ending of the memory.
Well, sorry. A man got stabbed and Elaine didn't notice, and no one helped him.
So Elaine. In the memory, he's talking about like how he met Elaine, and it starts out with two Girl Scouts. Mm-hmm. I didn't know they were Girl Scouts. I thought they were like soldiers.
They look like Girl Scouts. They have the yellow bands on.
Clearly, I've never seen the Girl Scout because I thought they were just female soldiers in their little skirt uniform.
No, I'm gonna be as honest as I can with you, because I know military uniform. You tell me the branch of government that's like, when women go to war, they need skirts on. Because that's some comic book 60s stuff.
I don't know, man. I was just, again,
When you're crawling in the trenches, you need skirts. If you're a woman, what?
Like I said, I've never seen a Girl Scout, and that didn't hit me as a Girl Scout.
Well, no. You know what it hit you as? Two adult stunt actors punching and throwing each other through chairs and tables and whatnot.
Okay. Well, it then proceeds to showing Ted at the bar, who he's like...
Also, you sound very exasperated by this movie, because we've already watched it, so literally, it sounds like you recollecting this movie is like, this movie grinded my gears on so many levels, guys.
It did. There was a lot of things that, like, don't get me wrong, like, I'm in for dark humor, but some of this stuff, I was like, eesh.
Yeah, that's true.
But it shows Ted. It shows him asking that he's like I was gonna get a drink, and then it introduces like, oh, he saw her and he saw Elaine. Elaine is dancing on a dance floor. She's having fun. She looks like she's having a blast. Ted sees her dancing with what they not trying to sound rude, what looked like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Okay. Like the Hunchback.
Yeah.
And he's over there dancing.
Quasimodo.
And he's dancing. He then says, and then fate had us, like fate intertwined or whatever, something like that. Something about fate crossing their paths. And the guy who's dancing with Elaine, the Hunchback man, he gets stabbed.
In the spine.
Wow.
Yeah, it was in the spine, and then, because Elaine and him are doing a plane dance, and he points at it, but she doesn't notice.
But, he's pointing at the knife, and Elaine is like, oh, so she starts mimicking his, help me.
Well, because she was mimicking him in the beginning. But yeah, but legit, the flashback is, oh, look, this Girl Scout joke of them fighting, hey, we're going to do a Saturday Night Fever bit, which I'm like, man, this movie's only 2 years old, that's wild. But then... because the synopsis skips over this, there's a second flashback, and it's Ted being like, I'm going to go back to war. And then after that, because they're on the beach, and it's one of those romance scenes, But the thing happens in real life that would happen, where the ocean comes in and then they're covered in seaweed because it's the sea. Wow. And then the second wave, which ends the scene, is the wave like encapsulates them and like pushes them back into the beach or whatever, and it ends. But yeah, like Ted remembers when they first met because the old lady asked, and then Elaine, like, she's seeing Ted talk up their first meeting, so she has a flashback about like that time when she's like, before when I still respected him and whatever because he wasn't broken, and I'm like, hey, this is just gonna be me. Hey, you're at work. Don't think about being hit with water and seaweed. Ask these goofballs if they want some coffee or water or whatever. Also, if no one wants anything, sit down. Like, your job is mostly standing. Yeah, man, you got time to rest. Don't be don't be standing on your feet staring at people. Taking kids into rooms with men being like, hey, kid,
Yeah, no, so the flashback ends and it's just another dark subject. And yeah, the little old lady just, decided to end it. And so then he doesn't even look phased. He's like, okay, and then gets up.
Yeah, he talks to another person.
Which then brings in the second flashback.
Because on the second flashback, I forgot to say this part, but legit, Ted tells Elaine all the confidential information about a strike they're about to do, except for when they'll return. And I'm like, come on, man.
Oh, man. I don't know why that bothered me so much. Like, instead of making me laugh, it just bothered me so much. I'm like, broski, you told her where you're going, what you're gonna do, at what time, and yet when you're coming back, that's classified.
Right? You told her everything. If she were a spy, they would definitely know when you're coming. But yeah, so you have those two flashbacks. You have a scene of this girl who needs a heart transplant, and one of the stewardesses gets a guitar from a nun, hits people in the head as she walks down the aisle.
And people are just like, ow, ow, but they don't say anything.
No, they touch her, they say, ow. And then she plays a song, and
By the way, she sings good.
No, she sings well.
She sings good. Oh, sorry. Well, better than what we can do, in my opinion, but...
Oh, yeah. That's very true. But I'll say she starts playing the guitar, and she knocks out the IV, and the mom doesn't notice.
And the little girl is fighting for her life, literally.
She is, and then she puts it back in. Then she knocks it out again. The mom finally notices. When she started singing aloud, like when she started strumming instead of just like picking at the chords, I really thought for this comedy that they were gonna have the airplane sing the song. I fully thought everyone on the plane was gonna start singing the song along with the stewardess, because I'm like, that's like the bit of the little girl fighting for her life, trying to get the IV back in, but all the adults around her are singing this happy song about being one person.
Everybody's watching. Everybody's watching.
Being one people and being together. I'm like, that's a pretty good bit, but they don't do... The bit is just everyone starts clapping like, yeah, you're singing.
Yeah, and then when the mom notices, starts doing CPR on her child. Oh. Yikes.
Oh, also, for some reason, there are 2 unaccompanied minors on this plane.
Oh, man.
And there's literally only 2 jokes with the kids. One is, hey, I'm a young boy and I find this young girl attractive. And the second one is...
okay. So the second one is, the kid, the young boy, brings coffee to the young girl. And... she, he's like, would you like some coffee? She's like, of course, certainly, thank you.
And then she offers him a seat.
Yeah, she offers him a seat. He gives her the coffee, she's drinking it, and he asks her very, very politely, oh, you want any cream or sugar with that? And she goes like, no. I like my, does she say, I like my coffee or I take my coffee?
I like my coffee like I like my men.
Black.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why did this 8-year-old girl think I like my coffee like I like my joke? I'm like, one, I find those jokes funny no matter what. But
this was actually when I watched this movie, I told Samuel, I was like, actually, I know this scene. Like, I saw it as a meme, but I never knew it was from this movie.
Yeah. For me, I think the perfect step up from this movie is there is an episode of Game Changer. I think it's with Grant, Raph, and Jess, and it's called I Like My Blank, and it's just like a bunch of things, like I like my blank, like I like my blank, And I think that's a perfect encapsulation of that scene of humor where they are just escalating the comedy. Because on the plane, that's all it is, just escalation of comedy. Like, you start off with Ted technically killing people on the plane with his love of Elaine. You have Elaine thinking about... Yes, my man was like, I need a ticket right now. You have the nun reading a boy's life magazine and the boy reading a nun's life magazine, and the nun is in full nun attire on a surfboard. You have the black guy speaking jive. Yeah. You have the kid being like, I want to go see the pilot, and that stuff happening. But everything's just escalation of everything that keeps happening. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
I guess that joke made sense because it was random, and then the escalation, and same thing with the memory, and then the tragic.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And then after there's a third memory that Ted's telling someone about, where they go to Africa and they teach them Western ways.
Oh my Lord!
And I didn't look it up because I didn't want to, but I was like, did they get the Harlem Globetrotters for this? Because like these guys are good at basketball. So, like, did they just get people who were already good at basketball, shoot a few scenes? But yeah, so 2 white people went to Africa, showed them basketball and whatever, and they were real good at basketball with almost no coaching. And I'm like, yeah, that's about right.
I know this is random, but obviously you guys can't see us, but every time he mentions a scene, I just keep shaking my head no. Like, I've done this multiple times. Like, my neck is starting to hurt.
Yeah. And then Elaine showed them Tupperware, and I was like, oh, that's pretty fun. That's neat.
They don't have fridges. That's useless.
No, she said you can keep your cereal, I almost said fresh. Your cereal from
These
going
people
stale.
are from tribes. What cereal?
You can make cereal in a tribe. After dinner is served, many of the passengers fall ill, and fellow passenger Dr. Barry Rumack quickly realizes that the fish dinner gave some passengers food poisoning. Now, that's not true. He does not quickly realize that. And also, this doctor, us normal guys can know it's a doctor, is definitely wearing a stethoscope on the plane for no reason.
Yeah, the reason how they get to him is because like Elaine or the other stewardess go to the cockpit and they're like, "Sir, we have some patients we have some passengers who aren't feeling too good," and so Over is like, oh, see, there's a doctor on board. Mm-hmm. And so then she's asking around, and this is the fact that, like, this is what got me, is that she's asking each lane of passengers, or is there a doctor here? Are you a doctor? And then they say no. They're like, oh, don't worry, nothing serious is going on. Everything's fine. So then she gets to where Leslie is, and before she could even say anything, the person next to him goes, "Ma'am, I think he's a doctor." And the camera turns to him. He has a
stethoscope on.
Stethoscope.
A stethoscope, yeah.
Stethoscope.
The stewards discover that the cockpit crew, including pilot Clarence Over and co-pilot Roger Murdoch, have all come down with food poisoning, leaving no one aboard to fly the plane. Now, we find this out after more people in the passenger section get sick, and they're like, who do you have, fish or chicken? Because everyone had the fish got sick. So then Dr. Barry Rumack is back here like, oh, hey, people had the fish. They're going to have this. And he just names us all the symptoms, and the captain is overhearing him.
I see what you there.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, he overhears him. And then, like, as soon as Barry says the symptom,
he starts.
Yeah, the captain has it. And then, like, he just keels over on the controls for the plane. And it makes me laugh because there are definitely scenes before this where the stewardesses are like dragging people through the aisles because they can't walk or stand.
Nobody says a word.
No one is worried.
Nobody's even batting an eye. Well, okay, look. Listen. If nobody batted an eye when that girl was dying from her IV being plucked out, this is not surprising.
But yeah, so like that happened, and I'm just like, no one's worried. These, not to be mean, these very lean, small women are pulling these men. Yeah, and no one's like, hey, what's going on?
No, my first impression out of that was, besides the whole why is nobody noticing, I was like, these girls are strong, man. They're pulling a grown A man.
Yeah.
And they're not even huffing or puffing. They're just like, okay, excuse us, guys. Everything's fine. Nothing to worry about.
Well, yeah, I know. I think everything's fine when someone's dragging people on the plane. Elaine contacts the Chicago Control Tower for help and is instructed by Tower Supervisor Steve McCroskey to activate the plane's autopilot, a large inflatable doll named
Otto!
Which will get them to Chicago, but will not be able to land the plane. I wanted to do this fact check, and I did not, because I was like, whatever. I don't need to have all the information in the world. But my brain's like, I thought autopilot was used to land planes earlier, but I was like, well, no, I think old autopilot was used to fly the planes once it got in the air, and then the pilots had to manually land it. But for me, I was like, I thought that was always together, or I thought it was reversed, where autopilot was like, oh, you could, like, we can land the plane for you, but we can't, like, do the flying because of weather and other stuff. But I was like, no, it makes more sense, because wouldn't flying the plane in the sky be like cruise control for a plane? Yeah, it makes more sense that they couldn't land the plane and whatnot. Also, I don't understand why you would have an inflatable man as the autopilot, only because the cockpit isn't blocked. So any kid could come in here, being a kid and touching stuff, and like poke it, and like then it deflates, and the plane crashes. Because no one's, if everyone, like in this scenario, everyone's sick. Who would watch a kid and stop them from getting into the cockpit?
That's true. The mom was feeling good. It's just the dad who wasn't feeling good.
Well, it's because Jim had his extra cups of coffee.
Which Jim never has a second cup of coffee. And then he threw up, and then she goes, Jim has never thrown up before.
Yeah, he doesn't throw up at home.
Which was, okay.
Rumack convinces Stryker to fly the plane, though Stryker feels unable to handle the pressure and the unfamiliar aircraft. Now, what happens here is Elaine is asked by Rumack, hey, is there anyone on this plane that can fly the plane? And Elaine asks around, and so does the other stewardess, and then Elaine is like nervous when asked.
Which she denies. She doesn't know anyone on the plane who can do it.
There's no one to fly, and she's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm guessing we're gonna fly around forever.
She tried really hard to be like, no one. Who dat? Like, she tried really hard. And then it was the other stewardess, right? She's the one that found Ted.
Yeah, I believe her name's Randy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, she because Elaine knew, but she didn't want to ask him. And I'm like, I understand you don't respect Ted, but planes run out of gas. They run out of gas. It's gonna happen. So I understand Ted has his own trauma connected to planes, which I have not said this yet. All of Ted's war memories are black and white. And they're planes that he could not have flown. They're like 40s, 30s planes. So my man has imagine Snoopy as the Red Baron. That he has those kind of planes. I'm like, that's not the kind of plane you flew in the 80s, you silly man. But yeah, so Elaine is like, I know we're gonna run out of gas and we're kind of stuck up here in this tube.
But I'm still refused.
Yeah, to ask the one pilot on the thing that's not sick, hey, can you try? I understand we had a disagreement, but I would like to land in Chicago instead of crash. So hey, get in there, cowboy. Something.
Throughout this whole scene, like, she gets stuck with him regardless.
Yeah, it's true.
Which is, I don't know what, I'm assuming, I did it for the plot, like, they have to be together. But, like, I feel like at that point, common sense would be like, the other lady, you come here. You're doing this with him, not I.
Like, yeah, but we need somebody to be with the passengers. And since Elaine
Ted needed his emotional support friend.
Yeah.
And that's what she was. Mm-hmm. And not willingly. McCroskey knows that he must get someone else to help talk the plane down and calls Rex Kramer.
Who has a dog that attacks a man from the air traffic control tower, and that dog nearly kills a man and no one notices.
Stryker and Kramer served together in the war and must overcome their negative history. As the plane nears Chicago, Stryker becomes increasingly stressed and can only land the plane after a pep talk from Dr. Rumack. With Kramer's endless stream of advice, Stryker is able to overcome his fears and safely land the plane with only minor injuries to some passengers. Damage to the landing gear. Stryker's courage rekindles Elaine's love for him. Ugh. And the two share a kiss while Otto takes off in the evacuated plane after inflating a female companion.
Which, once again, who put this in the plane? But once again,
it's an Otto female.
This synopsis skips so many things. But, like, okay, so a man goes from the control tower to get the new captain to come help talk Ted down because Ted's never flown this plane before. And this man gets almost gets his jugular ripped out by the dog. And the wife is like, "Oh, where are you going, honey?" And no one notices. And
they noticed.
No, they're like, "Hey, get off the ground. We got stuff to do." That's not noticing. It's saying, "Hey, why are you playing with the dog?" I'm not playing with the dog. The dog is like...
So, mind you, throughout this whole movie, when Ted is behind the wheel or the whatever it is on the plane.
Steering column?
Yeah. Nobody has any faith in him. No one.
Even Ted doesn't have faith in himself.
Yeah, like, listen, that doesn't help me fly a plane.
Faith? It does, George Michael. It helps you fly a plane sometimes.
So, yeah, nobody believes in him. And then McCarty? Is that him? The one that the pilot? McCroskey. They're having a whole on, like, when he finds out that Ted is the one up in the air who's potentially going to land it, he starts going off while the mic is on, and he can hear it. Him and Elaine can hear it, saying about, like, how he's a lost cause. This mission is impossible and blah, blah. And Ted and Elaine are just, like, kind of looking at each other like, bro.
Well, because then there's another scene that happens where Ted says he doesn't like McCroskey. But he had to get past it. And then Elaine, because she's relaying to air traffic.
She says the exact same thing.
And Ted just looks at her like, why are we
having, why'd you do that?
Why are we doing this? But yeah, because McCroskey and Ted do have negative feelings. McCroskey doesn't believe in Ted. Ted never liked McCroskey. And then
why did they have bad beef?
I'm guessing for comedy bits, if I'm being honest.
They didn't like the fact they didn't specify on the beef.
Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah, for comedy bits, that's the only reason they had negative energy. And then you have the scenes before you have McCroskey and Ted talking, where towards the end of them talking about him about to land, for some reason the plane started showing airplane movies of planes crashing, which I'm like, oh, that's not, no.
Yeah, and people were chill with that.
Yeah, man, it's just a plane.
And they know that, that the plane might crash. And they're like, you know what? This is nice.
Yeah, and then you have the scene where everyone's worried because the pilot isn't there, and this lady's getting hysterical.
Oh,
man. And a stewardess shakes her and slaps her. And then Leslie Nielsen's character comes, shakes her and slaps her. And then, her husband is there, shakes her, slaps her, and then you just turn back and you just see a line of people with assorted weapons trying to, this lady calm down.
Yeah, oof. And then the thing was, the further you got down the line, the worse, the more intense the weapon got.
Yeah, and then at the air traffic control tower, the guy who runs it, he has a picture of him still smoking the exact same way he stands from his desk. But then there's a guy there, which I don't think I have it in the fun facts here, but legit, the guy at the air traffic control tower who only makes jokes and bits, he doesn't have anything written. He's there only to do jokes and bits and improv off of the scene around him. So the reason why everything he does is either a joke or feels super out of place is because there's nothing written for him. He's only there to make the people in that room laugh, which he did a bunch of times. But I'm like, man, no wonder this is nonsensical.
Yikes.
Sorry, my notes said Kramer saying I gotta build him up just to say that's hopeless as soon as the first question is asked.
Again, no faith in this man at all. When he has the lives of how many people on that plane?
Well, don't worry. Ted gives up on himself. Then comes back after Dr. Barry is like, hey, that guy that you blame yourself for because blah, 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 he still had faith in the mission or whatever, so you gotta have faith in the mission.
Did Leslie know that on purpose, or was it just random?
Was it a lie?
Was it a random? No, I didn't even think it was a lie. I just thought, was it a random thing? He just pulled that name out of his butt, or?
Oh no, because Ted said the name, but for his age, Yeah, Barry could have been in the war as a doctor as well. He could have learned. He could have been a medic, so he could have actually known that. But for me, I'm like, I wouldn't put it past you. But also, in this movie, we see that when he lies, his nose grows. So his nose didn't grow. So maybe he actually did know George Zip, and then Ted got his confidence back.
Yo.
Captain Over's. I have a note that says Captain Over's wife's dress is bad.
Oh.
That dress was terrible.
Dude, not just that, but like in the scene where she wakes, like she gets a call, saying like, oh.
Again, there's a horse in bed.
Yeah, like, yo, there was that, and then...
Before you go further on that one, how did they train a horse to lie down and then be comfortable with a blanket on itself? Because that does not seem easy to train
I feel like
horse.
Some horses, depending on, like, the farm, but I've seen videos on TikTok where some horses genuinely like that. So I guess they must have, like, trained it. Like, it must have been trained for a long time. Yeah. And my curiosity is, how did they get the horse to lie in the bed? The cover's not my question. Is how did you get them to lie in the bed?
Very true, because I never think about it. But yeah, like, having a horse lie down for a long time, or having any animal on set for a good minute, must, take a good amount of work. But then, like, the end of the movie, you have Kramer talking to Ted in a monologue on the radio, and Ted and Elaine are getting off the plane because everyone's like sliding down the inflatable slide.
Actually, before that too, what they forgot to add was that before they got Ted to go on there, Otto was deflating. And so when she was asking like comms, like, hey, what do I do? Because, the plane started shaking and stuff. They're like, oh, there's like a little thing where you can reinflate him. And it was near his, private region. So,
he's a balloon, so he doesn't have a private region. But if he were an actual person, yes, the little blow up tube was right in the same area.
Yeah, and so then like she's like trying to blow him up again, and the Leslie's character comes in and he walks in. Well, she looks like she's blowing him, and he walks back out.
Yeah.
He walks back out. And then the scene then cuts to like, the plane is stable again and they're both smoking a cigarette.
But yeah, multiple things in this movie were like, oh, people can just run in the airports and get in and out real fast. This man can get a ticket for this airplane really quickly. People are smoking on planes. And I'm like, man, yeah, that was like that, huh? I fully forgot about that.
They had more, I mean, I don't know if I'm not sure if this is still a thing, because like I don't fly a lot, but they had like pretty decent like fish or steak. Do they serve that kind
fish or chicken? But yes, they do.
Chicken. Is that like for private planes or?
No, you can ask, but it depends on the time of day and whatever. But yeah, they have standardized meals for
all times I've been on a plane. I get a complimentary drink and a biscuit.
Oh, yeah, Biscoff. So you mean the cookie? Yeah.
The cookie, yeah. Dry cookie, which then I have to follow the stewardess, who hears some passengers choking, follow back up. Would you like some water? Yes, please.
Hey, buddy, you can give me water for the dry biscuit. But no, for me, I haven't been on long flights, so I don't think a meal is included because you don't need a meal for a flight that's under 4 hours, if I'm being
No, that part I get. That's too.
Also, I know that if you do first class, you get to get your drinks in a glass.
What part of the
in a glass?
What part of the airplane is that in?
The very front. First class is right next to the.
So where? Maybe there's just movies, because clearly. Where's the place where you have like a comfy chair and?
That's first class, yeah, man.
In the front of the plane?
Yes, in the front of the plane. Because when you get on the plane, you go to the right for business and economy, and then you go to the left for first class. Yeah.
I've been on planes 3 times. I don't recall seeing none of that.
Because maybe you didn't have a ticket for a plane that had first class.
Okay.
That's about it.
Poor peasants over here. Gotta go on those poor people planes where the planes shake a little with the turbulence.
Oh, that's another thing. The passengers on this plane are too calm to me. Because there are too many times where it's like they show altitude dropping by like 5,000 feet like a second, and it shakes.
And then this lady's putting on makeup,
and it shakes.
Nobody questions it.
Yeah, the passenger, because like it happens like 4 or 5 times. The passenger's like, "Hey, we're shaking now." I'm like, "Yo, man." This
reminds me of when we were coming back from our trip from. When Lola and I were coming back from our trip from New York, and she was asleep. So I tried to wake her up and let her know, like, hey, we're about to land, buckle up. So and we were right next to each other. So I was like, hey, wake up. And she didn't wake up. So what woke her up was when we landed, it was like the turbulence. She woke up so
yeah.
And then she was like, when we got off the plane, she was like, I thought we were crashing. And I was like, I tried to wake you up, but you were just like,
After the credits, the man in Stryker's abandoned taxi looks at his watch and says, well, I'll give him another 20 minutes, but that's it. One, Ted is in Chicago, so it's going to be more than 20 minutes. Two, why did this man wait? Like, the movie's like an hour and 40 minutes. This man waited like an hour and 30 minutes, and he's like, you know what, I'll give it some more time. I'm like, I understand you just got off your own plane or whatever, but my man, you gotta leave. You gotta be done with this by now.
That scene was... I was so confused. I was like, well, he gotta go. I feel like at that point, well, they didn't have lifts back then. I would have been like, lift, please.
I was gonna say, they have elevators. How much do you think this movie costs to make? Yeah, I think it costs more than a sigh.
Okay. As ridiculous as it was, I'm gonna go maybe $1 million.
You think it costs $1 million to make?
Oh, $1 million? No, okay. I don't know, maybe $20K? I don't know.
This movie costs $3.5 million to make. Hey,
whoa!
No, buddy. Professional art studio had to make the models for the airport and for the plane,
and then they had to use some of the airport.
Yeah, and then like the green screen stuff and then like they had to make a set that the plane could go through to destroy it for the green screen.
I said $1 million, but then I was like, you made it sound like that was too much, and I'm like, I don't know.
All they did was build a fake plane and have people shaking it a little bit. But yeah, like $3.5 million. But no,
that's how much it took to make.
Yes, $3.5 million. And then it made it made $171 million. So a certified hit. Now, for some of the fun facts about the movie, for the argument between announcers concerning the white and red zones at the airport, the producers hired the same voice artists who had made the real-world announcements at Los Angeles International Airport.
Ooh.
At the real airport, the white zone is for loading and unloading of passengers only, and there's no stopping in the red zone except for transit buses. They were also married to each other in real life.
Cute. Very cute.
For the famous scene of the Boeing 747 crashing through the large windows inside the terminal, producer John Davison mentions in the Blu-ray extras that after the movie, he received numerous letters from various pilots telling him that they have come very close to reenacting that very scene in real life, with some pilots admitting that they had come so close as to touch the glass with the noses of their planes.
Oh my goodness.
And not to give lots of publicity to another podcast, but there is a time where my brother and me, where Travis was talking about like, hey, like sometimes when I drive home from work, I don't remember the drive. It's just I appear home, and I was like, I wonder if doctors or surgeons do a surgery so much that instead of doing the surgery, they just autopilot through the surgery because they know it so well. And I think Justin was like, I hope not. That sounds terrifying.
I've thought about that because sometimes I feel like sometimes I do that at work, and I'm like, ooh.
But no, like I don't know how to feel if I make a joke about somebody directing traffic the wrong way, and the pilots are like, yeah, that happened a few times. I'm like, what you say to me?
Yeah.
No.
Right, so they found their people.
Yeah, man. Aeromexico was the only airline to buy the movie for their in-flight entertainment.
Oh my God.
The doctor role was Leslie Nielsen's first comedic role. He He later said he was delighted to get the offer, fearing that he was getting too old for anything but elderly grandfather roles. The studio actually wanted to cast Dom DeLuise as the Doctor, but directors Jerry Zucker, David Zucker, and Jim Abrams prevailed. This led to Nielsen getting a whole new career in wacky comedies, particularly other Zucker Abrams Zucker productions, like Naked Gun. The I gotta get out of here scene, where a stewardess tries to calm down a hysterical passenger, was actually improvised on the spot. The original scene, based on the scene from 0 Hour, only called for the stewardess to try to calm her, and then another passenger tells the stewardess that he will handle this, and then slaps her, with the joke ending there. Lee Bryant, playing the hysterical woman, suggested to the directors that the gag should be extended to bring in other annoyed passengers, forming a slap line. Although they liked the idea, they were hesitant to do it, fearing Bryant might get hurt. However,
whoa. So you're telling me that was a hesitant move, but the whole "have you ever seen a girl naked man" was not?
Okay, no, here's the thing. A grown man saying that line of comedy
to a child.
No, but a grown man saying that line of comedy is a man saying a line. This woman saying, "Hey, let people fake hit me," she can get hurt for real. And they were like, "Hey, we don't want you to get hurt for real." But you're not wrong.
Whoa.
Like I said, the captain who played Captain Over was disgusted at the script because it's like, this is deplorable.
But because he normally does serious movies,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So okay.
Mm-hmm. You're not wrong. But like here they're like, "Hey, we can have a man saying a line as a joke, but we don't want somebody on set to get hurt."
Man, look at her taking it like a champ.
However, they agreed to try it and even added in props for the passengers. After briefly rehearsing it, they kept it in the movie after one take. According to Bryant, Leslie Nielsen's second slap was not rehearsed or expected, and he really hit her, though not intentionally.
Oh no! Dang, Leslie, he really meant business. Dang, how was it an accident? Just, I guess he didn't mean to.
Yeah, the second slap, she didn't. She just thought it would be one slap and then a shake, but he did 2 slaps. So,
okay,
caught her unawares. Now, before we close it out, the question we ask every week, Miri, would you recommend this movie? And I'll tell you before she answers, she's definitely shaking her head no.
No. As I mentioned to him before, if I had to pick between this movie and Monty Python, I'd pick Monty Python.
A very good movie as well.
Airplane.
No, Airplanes, there's 2 planes.
Oh my, that's the thing, it has a second movie.
Yeah, Airplane 2, the sequel.
Okay, no, that's a different frustration there. I feel like this, while I did laugh at some stuff, and like always, I stopped my notes halfway into the movie. As I stated at the beginning of this podcast, I was very flabbergasted by a lot of these things. So no, I will not. It's definitely, like, don't get me wrong, I'm very into, like, I do like dark humor. But I realized watching this movie is like, I don't like dark humor back to back.
Oh, yes.
And the things, and I have a conscience, so my dark humor is limited. But yeah, this is just not my cup of tea. Not for me.
For me, I would say I would recommend this movie.
Oh.
Well, simply because because we're going to see a lot of this on this podcast, but there are a lot of things that originate in comedy movies and whatnot from parodies and things that I didn't know they originated from. Like, I think I was talking about with Monty Python, where they did the thing where they went to Camelot and the guys are all singing and dancing and like moving furniture. And there's a bit about that in Robot Chicken, which I was like, I thought Robot Chicken had just thought of that themselves. And I was like, oh, that's a reference based on this 70s movie that I didn't even know about. But like, I think there's some bits that you can see in other parody movies, but I think Airplane like popularized them. So I think if you want to like see the history of like comedy and how it changed, because like one of the things people would say who like study this kind of stuff would be like, yeah, like back in the day, comedy movies had like a joke per minute or like a joke every 2 minutes, and now you watch a current comedy and it's like a back-to-back-to-back joke. And for me, Airplane is one of the more modern movies that starts that kind of trend where it's not like there's no air between jokes, really. It's like the jokes are lily pads and the movie is water. And the movie, like you said, it's just dark stuff and nonsense. So the jokes are the pads that you just keep going to. So it's like back-to-back jokes. So I was like, yeah, I think it's a good movie to watch if you want to see like how like modern comedies are written. But yes, if you do not want to see all the dark humor and all the troubles, I would not recommend this movie to you. But if you want to be like, oh, hey, look at this.
And the thing is, we skipped out on a few things too. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It made me, some stuff made me laugh. I'll be honest.
Name a thing that made you laugh, because on the podcast, all I did was make you sigh.
So the slapping scene actually made me laugh, but then when I saw the line, I got concerned. The whole thing about the children, where she was like, I like my coffee how I like my men, mm-hmm. black. Oh. So that made me laugh. I laughed, but then I clutched my pearls. Mm-hmm. The fact, the beach scene where they were, the water was going on. Yeah. What made me laugh about that was the fact that she had sand all over her, mm-hmm. and she had seaweed on her.
Because that's what would happen in real life, and it never happens in movies.
And the fact that the tide pulled him in when it was coming down. Mm-hmm. There's also a scene in there that we also didn't mention, was when he was trying to land the plane. He was supposed to be sweating.
Yeah, he's sweating buckets.
But literally, he was soaking. Like, he was showering. So that made me chuckle. Yeah. There was a few scenes I was like, but yeah. Other than that, yeah, not for me, man. Like, if y'all like it, that's cool, man. But like I said, this not for me.
And that's the end of our show this week. Next week we'll be watching Friday the 13th.
Ooh.
Do you know much about this film? I feel like you do.
I'm gonna be honest. I think I've watched it. I'm pretty sure I have. Mm-hmm. But it's been such a long time.
I don't remember what happened in it. A man. Jason attacks people. That's it. If I want to do one sentence, Jason attacks people. That's the movie. Sometimes
I confuse Jason and Michael Myers.
They are both tall dudes in a white mask and jumpsuits. I understand that.
Yeah, okay. Well, this will be fun.
Like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Instagram. And rate us 5 stars. Share us with whoever will listen. Thank you for listening and have a good day.
Bye.